Buyers do not usually start evaluating a consulting firm when they book a call. They often start much earlier. They notice a post, hear a name, see a case example, read a point of view, or remember something someone else said. Before there is a formal opportunity, an invisible shortlist may already be forming. The big misconception is that the deal starts when the buyer reaches out or when your salesperson tries to start the conversation. But by that point, the buyer may already have formed impressions about who seems relevant, credible, risky, or forgettable. That is why outreach can struggle, even when the salesperson is doing their job. If the firm has not become seen, understood, and trusted before the message arrives, the conversation is already harder to start. This is the invisible shortlist model. It shows how buyers move from noticing a firm to quietly considering it. The 4 stages are seen, understood, trusted, and defensible. The important point is that this often happens before the sales conversation. Authority is not only built in the meeting, it is built before the meeting exists. The first stage is seen. Buyers need to notice that your firm exists before they can consider you. But being seen is only the beginning. A buyer may see your name, your content, your profile, or your work and still not know why it matters. Visibility opens the door, but it does not create the shortlist by itself. The second stage is understood. This is where buyers begin to understand what you do, who you help, and why your work matters. They can place you in a category. They can connect your expertise to a problem they recognize. That matters because buyers do not remember everything. They remember what they can clearly understand. The third stage is trusted. At this point, the buyer is not just aware of you. They are starting to believe your expertise may be real, relevant, and useful. This trust can come from proof, examples, consistency, referrals, content, or visible judgment. The buyer may still be silent, but confidence is starting to form. The fourth stage is defensible. This means the buyer can explain why your firm belongs in the conversation. They can describe what you do, why it matters, and why you seem credible enough to consider. That is what gets a firm onto the invisible shortlist. Not just awareness, not just interest, a reason the buyer can defend. The shortlist forms early. That is why many firms lose opportunities they never knew existed. They may have strong expertise, but they were not understood before the buyers started looking. Or they were visible, but not trusted or defensible enough to include. By the time the buyer reaches out, the real competition may already be narrowed. Think about Company A and Company B. They may have similar expertise, but Company A sends scattered signals. The message is vague, the firm is hard to place, the proof feels generic, and even if buyers notice them, the firm is easy to forget. Company B sends signals that work together. The message is clear. The firm is easy to recognize. The proof is useful. And when the need becomes active, Company B is easier to remember and shortlist. So the key takeaway is simple. Deals are won or lost before the first call, not because the salesperson does not matter, but because the buyer has often formed an impression before the outreach, the reply, or the meeting request. If you want to know whether your authority signals are helping buyers understand, trust, and consider your firm, take the Authority Gap quiz. Go to trailblazermastery.com/quiz.